Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby, and this is the most important news of the World of Tanks decade. Wargaming have clearly figured out there's not enough Tier 8 Soviet premiums in the game, and so they're cloning the KV-4 and releasing it as the KV-4 Turchaninov. This is going to complete your garage. It's available today, although it's not inside loot boxes. You're going to be able to get the vehicle just for money, as it should be. And in today's video, I'm going to let you know whether this one is the new vehicle that you must be able to get your hands on. So I'm going to compare the KV-4 Turchaninov to the KV-4. Both of these vehicles have 107mm with practically identical damage per minute and penetration on the standard rounds, although unfortunately the Turchaninov has 300 alpha, which means it's going to have to fire more often. Also, the Turchaninov has 255mm of gold pen, which sucks, because that's practically the best thing about the KV-4 is the 289mm of APCR pen that allows you to be able to deal with any kinds of matchups. To add to this, the Turchaninov loses the KV-4's amazing accuracy down to 0.42, but it does get slightly better gun handling, which is nice. So whether you need vert stabs on this, that's going to be down to you as a player. I would recommend you do everything you can to improve the mobility and the durability of this vehicle. Otherwise, what are you playing a KV-4 Turchaninov for? The gun depression on this tank sucks at 6 degrees. The top speed at 30 sucks, but it's okay if you get a turbo on it. Reverse speed sucks. Power to weight is okay. Considering this tank weighs 90 tons though, that's a little bit disappointing considering the KV-4 weighs 106. This one is going to be nearly as good for ramming. It does have marginally better turret and tank traverse, although this isn't really going to make too much of a difference. Armor-wise, the Turchaninov is an interesting vehicle. We can see that it's got practically the same armor as the KV-4, although much better rear armor than the KV-4, but worse on the turret, which is interesting. If we take a look at how this vehicle is going to perform against 225mm of pen, we can see that that hull, ooh, it really sucks. But that side armor of 150, that means that you basically need to bait your opponents by angling like this. If you do that, then you will be able to survive all Tier 6, Tier 7 and Tier 8 tanks that don't fire gold at you and just absolutely laugh at them. So you basically want to angle at 45 degrees and just bait your opponents into being stupid. The problem is as soon as they fire gold, if they have decent gold pen, you're really going to struggle. Turret armor wise, it's like hit and miss. In a good matchup, you're going to do well. In a bad matchup, you're not going to do well. So I'm really hoping that I'm going to get good matchmaking today. Because in Wargaming's loveliness, they've only given me 18 hours notice that the Turchaninov is going into the game. And yeah, I was streaming for the first 7 hours of that. So unfortunately, the gameplay is going to have to be live today. But really, this vehicle, I don't need to play this tank for 2 to 3 hours to let you know exactly what it is. It's going to be basically a very good tank if you get very good matchmaking. If you don't get very good matchmaking, you're going to be an XP pinata. Hit points wise, disappointingly for a vehicle that's going to depend so much on its durability, it has 1,600 hit points, which is less than the KV-4. It also has mediocre view range, a lot like the KV-4. So all in all, it's basically like a KV-4 that just has a few issues. Crew wise, this tank is the same as the KV-4. Crew skills wise, I would recommend that you take on your commander, brothers, repairs, recon, emergency coordination, and practicality on your gunner, brothers, repairs, snapshot, deadeye, quick aiming, and armorer on this vehicle. For your driver, brothers, repairs, clutch braking, off-road driving, engineer, and controlled impact, because you want to ram in this vehicle. For your radio operator, brothers, repairs, situational awareness, side-by-side, jamming, and firefighting will do you well. And on both of your loaders, brothers, repairs, adrenaline rush, safe stowage, close combat, and ammo tuning will be great on this tank because your rate of fire is so good you don't really need the intuition on this tank. Equipment wise, I'm definitely going to be running pretty much one build on 80% of the maps in the game. Durability, turbo, and a gun rammer to maximize my speed, my combat potential, and my firepower. My second build on this tank, I'm never really going to use it, but I'm going to take coated optics for when I want to YOLO a flank or even just be able to marginally spot for myself on Prokhorovka or Malinovka. Field mods wise, super simple. I'm going to take all-terrain suspension to maximize mobility. Then I'm going to improve the accuracy of this vehicle. Then I'm going to improve my view range. And I'm going to take the mobility slot. So yeah, no time for me, unfortunately, to play for several hours. But luckily, this tank is about as simple as it gets. I'm just crossing my fingers right now. I'm playing at 10:30 in the evening, UK time. So that is when all of the casual players are doing normal things, like going to bed, and I'm usually left playing against all of the sweaties. Artillery's going to have fun with me, that's for sure. So this vehicle, it kind of wants to side scrape. And it doesn't have gun depression. So when I get on a map like Muravanka, I just wish I was a conceiver. I wish I was one of the two TS-54s, the FV-4 202. What am I going to do? Just basically be like a big XP pinata for the enemy team? Possibly. Okay, stay positive, Uncle Scrubs. You know, this might be the 10th Tier 8 Premium Soviet Heavy in the game, but there's got to be some people out there who want you to still recommend this, or at least give it a fair review. That's what the idea of these videos are for, right? And look, this thing, matchmaking dependent, basically just angle like this. But immediately I'm questioning, why would you ever play this when you could play a K2? Sure, you don't have the damage per minute, but a K2 just has laughable amounts of better armor than this tank. I guess against a K2 you could overmatch the top of the turret, but I would sacrifice that weakness to be able to have 390 alpha and to have 270 heat pen rather than to have 300 alpha. This gun, it's kind of the same gun that's on like a tier 6 heavy, like the KV-2, right? Or the T-150. Okay, in this situation, I'm just going to have to get forwards. I'm not going to do anything at decent distances, but hopefully this guy isn't loading gold, and I should be able to laugh at him if he isn't. Oh, that's a good start, isn't it? It's a good start. It's a good start. I'm going to go for those guys. I'm just going to angle at 45 degrees like I showed you with the armor review. Ricochet the standard round. Find out my gun depression's horrible. Try and find a shell through there. And XM immediately, with their gold, makes me want to cry. Luckily, angled at 45 degrees there, I make that guy look silly. And ladies and gents, that's what this tank is going to do. If you angle at 45 degrees and your opponents don't have big pen and they don't fire gold, the tank is going to be a pretty funky brawler. But the problem is that a lot of people fire gold, and a lot of the time you're playing against tier 9s and tier 10 tanks, and when that happens you are going to suffer. One of the things I didn't really check out with the armor review that I should have is just how good this thing's rear turret is. The rear turret could actually be pretty troll, but I wouldn't really recommend trying to reverse out in front of people. But yeah, 140 millimeters of turret armor means that you can pretty much kind of mess around with getting shot in all sorts of sections. It's this 6 degrees of gun depression that just feels awkward. Setting up the KV-4 like this, even with regular equipment, does not half make this thing feel funky with regards to its mobility. It's like dancing around like a 90-ton tank shouldn't. 90 tons means ramming can be very fun indeed on a vehicle. Oh, I made an intuition fail already. I have intuition on like 90% of my tanks, so the fact that I didn't choose it on this vehicle wouldn't really make sense. Just to clarify, if you do have a crew that has intuition and you find yourself wanting to put it on this vehicle, that's absolutely fine. I'm not even going to look at you, Squall. Artie gets his first shot into me. Should I try and spot this conceiver over here? I'm worried about the Borsig just coming over and getting me. Oh, no, I won't be able to see the conceiver through the bushes. Never mind. I did. Gonna come and try and poke me. I could shoot his building down. Why'd I shoot his building down where I can just do that? But pretty much, yeah, just angled at like 45 degrees. This tank just... There's the UDES. Oh, I have to get back. UDES is over here. Tell my team where he is. Get the squall spotted a little bit. Unfortunately, I'm in a lot of trouble. I'm going to mark where I think I was pinging the UDES. I think he was a little bit more to the side to that. Squall's dead. I'm brawling. I'm playing. I'm trying my best. That's what this tank is going to do. The funny thing about this tank is I know that while it's going to do badly in matchmaking like this, when it meets tier 6s and tier 7s on a city map, it's going to be disgusting. But I cannot honestly imagine playing against tier 9s or tier 10s on a map like this. You're practically going to do nothing, friends. You're going to do nothing. Hopefully this Lynx spots the Utes. Again, intuition failed. another time. Really looking forward to saving credits on my press account. Oh yeah, can't wait to save those 4,000 credits on my press account. XD, X double D's indeed. Cool. IS3, you want some? I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Udez, you want some? I'll give it to you. You tell this nomad I'm going to help him out. Come on, man. Find that Udes for me. Where's the Udes? Do these guys really want me to try and poke the Borsig? But if I poke the Borsig, I'm almost certain that Udez is going to kill me. I just can't really... And I don't even have the view range, right? If I take the view range to take the risk, the Udez is definitely going to get me. I mean, he's called Pro. How am I ever going to handle a Pro Udez, right? Yeah. Yeah. There's the Borsig. I mean, what am I going to do unless I play? Right. There's the SU. SU's safe. Let's just go and try and ram a Borsig. For the review? Hopefully the Udez misses me. Yeah, this pretty much went as well as I thought it would. The KV-4 Turchaninov. Guys, there's so many better tanks you could spend your money on. I'm not saying this vehicle is going to be useless. Wargaming have clearly tried to make a KV-4, but you know, the worse accuracy, the worse gold pen, the worse hit points. They'd probably argue that they've given it a slightly better turret. Now, here's the thing. When I consider it, do you know the KV-4 is actually one of the better Tier 8 Tech Tree tanks? Look at it with regard to its win ratio difference. It's like in the top third. If we look at it in raw win ratio, top third as well. So it's not bad. It's not bad. But the problem is, do you really want to pony up your hard-earned cash to purchase something that frankly is just marginally as good, if not better, than a Tier 8 Tech Tree tank, and at a tier that nobody really wants to purchase because Tier 8 is saturated and everybody wants Tier 9 tanks? This is the dilemma that Wargaming have really got themselves into. They're selling this one outside loot boxes, but funnily enough, you think that if they were selling outside loot boxes and they wanted you to pay money for it, instead of gamble inside loot boxes to be able to get it, that it would be reasonably good. It just does feel like low effort content at this point. They've taken a KV-4 hull, they've stuck a different turret on it, and they've just tweaked the gun, like marginally. 20 less alpha, less gold pen, less accuracy. It does feel like low effort content at this point, boys and girls. Let's give it a go. Anyway, multiple ways that I could play this. I could try and hold down in the center and see if I could punish the Borasks, and then maybe go towards the east if they try and push around there. I think that's going to be the best bet for me. Man, I'm looking forward to maybe getting a ram on this on my opponents, but then again, I'm only ever going to be able to go like 35. I vaguely remember that the KV-4 at one point could go at like 40 or 50 kilometers an hour. There's also a KV-4 Kraslavsky in the game, which used to be a Clan Wars reward tank, now inside the Bond store, right? That one has the full gold pen that you'd have on the KV-4, but that one also is pretty awkward with regards to its damage per minute, and this tank clearly isn't awkward with regards to its damage per minute. Contradictious fires gold or not? I clearly shouldn't go up on the hill. Should I just do a test to see how good this thing's armor is? It should be very good armor. Oh, sorry, Kalana. I'll get out your way. I'll get out your way. I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice baby. Go on then. Go on then, Mr. Kalana. You can do it. You can have the window, Mr. Kalana. Oh, yeah, this armor's pretty savage. 80-15 is getting me good though. To watch out for him. That wasn't very nice. 80-15, I didn't like that. Just wish I had a little bit more gun depression. This thing's armor is pretty nutty though, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty nutty armor. Pretty nutty armor. 2,700 blocks like it was nothing. IS-5 pens me. Oh, I had to open my big old flappy mouth. Yeah, that's what 340 heat pen will do. Or 334 heat pen as it may be. Oh, I don't know, boys and girls. Am I meant to try and play this tank seriously? Another vehicle in the world of tanks. Another tier 8 premium Soviet heavy. Another tier 8 premium Soviet heavy for you to add to your collection. I mean, in this kind of a situation, basically when it's not getting shot by very good gold, it's really good. The problem is that a lot of tanks have 270 gold pen, like an IS-5, you know? A lot of tanks have 270 gold pen, like an IS-5. And a lot of tanks now have 320 pen, like the one that's dead next to me. Is that Progetto trying to use those bushes? I don't think he can. Hello, little Borasco. The Turchaninov is laughing at you, little Borask. Silly little Borask. It is kind of funny to think those Borasks with their gold, they just don't really stand a chance. Where's that Chimera? He's like here. Aim time's nice. It is quite a derpy tank. I just don't like playing matchmaker roulette. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like playing matchmaker roulette. I don't like signing up and going, oh, good matchmaking, I have good game. Oh, bad matchmaking, I have bad game. I should have played this one more sensibly. I shouldn't have tried to test the armor like I did, really, against a Borsig and an IS-5 at the back of the map, YOLOing heat. But, yeah, there's one Boraska. Chimera's there now. One Borask went to the back. Hopefully this will be good for the armor review, though, for all of you to see exactly how its armor works. And it is monstrous armor. It really is monstrous armor. I hit him. Monstrous armor. The problem is that is monstrous armor enough in World of Tanks when all your opponents are at a distance? Maybe. Maybe, baby. To have low alpha. To have low penetration. Remember, this is fairly nice matchmaking that we've got right now, right? My matchmaker wasn't nice and I was dealing with tier 10s. I can only imagine what would be happening. They're firing HE at me now. They are firing HE at me, friends. I wonder if I'll hit any of these blind shots. Progetto dodged my shell. Mr. Borask, wanna come and play? You can come and kill the Turchaninov. Everybody wants to kill a Turchaninov. Look, it's the new tank. It's the new OP tier. It's the new OP tank. Come kill the Turchaninov. Step right up. Visit the Wargaming store. Nice. Nice. Ah, they got me. GG, GG. Well, 2,000 damage, 5,300 damage blocked. I probably should have played a little bit more sensibly with my hit points. But I want to push this thing to the limit in the very limited time that Wargaming have given it for me to try and forge an opinion for all of you. All right, so unfortunately, it doesn't look like I hit any of those blind shots on the vehicles at the back outside of maybe ricocheting them. Yep. I don't know. Maybe the matchmaker's going to throw me a tier 6 or a tier 7 matchup so I can drive around and feel good about myself. When you play vehicles like that, that's really what it comes down to with a tank like this. If your armor won't work, then really there's not really too much that's going to work. Yeah, once again, the back of this tank, by the way, it says that the back of the turret is 140. Oh, it's the hull that's 140. So you can kind of bait people with the back of the hull, but it's not as good as the side. So you still want to angle at like 45 degrees, but really having the front is the best. The front is the best, as we can see, like that. That rear armor isn't actually as good as it thinks. I guess it's because, like, right on the beak is where that flattest part is. Anyway, yeah. The Turchaninov. I'm going to come to a conclusion about this tank. Is it worth your money? If you're a tank collector, I guess you're going to buy it anyway, right? Doesn't matter what I say. Are you someone who cares about their money and cares about having kind of like good vehicles for your money inside the game? No, this definitely isn't worth it. Why would you ever buy this when you can buy a Borask or a Skoda T56? Why would you ever buy this when you could get like a Contradictious? Why would you ever buy this? That's kind of my conclusion. It's lazy. It's a lot like the WZ-111-6 that went into the game. The 111-6 was basically another tier 8 Chinese premium, which they copy-pasted with a slightly different gun. That's what this is. This is as if you'd made like a big KV-3, but the KV-3 has 390 alpha. They basically copy-pasted a KV-4, and they're probably going to charge £30 for it in the shop. I don't know exactly how much it's going to be. Wargaming have said that it isn't going to be bundled with other things, so you will be able to buy it individually. It just feels to me that Wargaming are getting all of the skeletons out of their closet at the moment and just trying to release constant premiums, constant loot boxes, constant black markets, constant assembly shops. And I don't know why. I don't know why they're trying to release all of these vehicles as quickly as they possibly can. It's as if they're going to go out of fashion soon. Maybe Wargaming has big plans for rebalancing premiums or something. It's hard to say. Oh, I actually ricocheted an XM57. That's sick. I should definitely be trying to side-scrape right now. I'm in a bit of a tricky situation with this vehicle now. It's kind of like, do I try and just side-scrape? I guess I do. Gotta watch out for that XM. That XM's gonna do dirty things to me. It is pretty cool to be able to side-scrape like this and not expose that frontal hull. Oh, I'm a bit worried about that XM57. What's this? Should have angled a little bit better there, shouldn't I? Go on the outside, mate. If you want to go around me, go around me. Don't do that, please. Hope this XM doesn't die here. I wonder if the BZ-176 is going to try me again. Look, I'm just a noob. Please don't do that again. How did he do 400? Oh, he hit the right on the top of my turret, so... Yeah. No city map, no fun, I guess. No gun depression, no fun. At least I'm annoying this BZ-176 and an XM57 here. Can't really progress this engagement. I bet you that XM57 is going to be firing gold if I try to. This BZ-176 wants to try and get me. Gonna have to make sure. Yeah. Alright, I guess I poked up a little bit too far. Alright, ladies and gents, boys and girls, I'm going to come to a conclusion now about this tank. It's what I've been trying to say the whole time. Firstly, I'd like to say to Wargaming, it's really bad show to only give your content creators 16 hours with a vehicle. When you tell them when they're midstream that there's an NDA in the morning, when, you know, most people try and sleep a little bit after they finish like a 12-hour stream day. Secondly, it's low effort content. It's just another tier 8 Soviet. How many tier 8 Soviet heavies do we even have inside the game? So many. Look, this is all of the tier 8 Soviet tanks that we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 premium Soviet tier 8 heavy tanks. Although, to be fair, if we think about them from being novel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's an Asia server exclusive. This is like the 11th or the 12th tier 8 Soviet premium heavy. Do we need it? No. Should it have gone into the game as some kind of a freebie? Frankly, yes, it should have, because it's pointless. Would I recommend you spend your money on it? No. Is it hilarious to be able to get into a matchup like this? Like, the thing is that if this thing gets against tier 6s, so, I don't know, we'll say you're fighting against a Cromwell, okay? Lol. You literally... there's nothing that a Cromwell can do to you. Even if they get the broadside of this tank, they have to fire gold to stand a chance. And even if... just, what does a Cromwell do to the front of this vehicle? However, let's imagine instead it's fighting a tier 9 British medium, the Centurion 7-1. Oh, lol, now your armor really doesn't do very much at all. This is... it's an extreme tank that will be highly based around the matchmaking that you get. Is it worth your money? No. I would get very tilted playing this tank, thinking about whether the matchmaking is going to be good or bad. My recommendation, if you want to have a playstyle like this, get yourself a K2. Because even with a K2, at least you've got like the 270 heat pen, which is nice and flexible. And if you get yourself against those tier 9, pesky tier 9 mediums, look at that. That's what you want to have. Still some armor that can work as long as you hide your lower plate. And you've got 150 millimeters of side armor with wonderful side angling here. This is the tank that you want to buy if you want to play like a hilarious armor-based gameplay, not the Turchaninov, which is... it's just a waste of your money. Anyway, that's it for today. Really hope this YouTube video was useful for you. If it was, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know what you think about A, the Turchaninov in the comments down below, and B, why is Wargaming just churning out so much premium content that frankly just seems to be so lazy? And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.